Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about a lesson from Wakanda Forever for every dungeon master. And what is that lesson? Well, the lesson is you. Okay, I'll get there as quickly as I can. Every good dungeon master does two things with every single Dungeons and Dragons session. They tell a narrative, they tell a story, okay, and that should be 80% of the content. But 20% of the content should be a message, right? We are always delivering a message when we tell a story. Every story contains a message, okay? Like, it's not the story, it's not about fun, it's not about the events of the story, it's a message. You are delivering a message with every story. If you're unaware of, and if you think you're not, you are delivering an even more powerful message that you're not in control of or even aware of, right? So, the right ratio is 20% narrative, 20% message, right? And it's there, okay? And so you need to choose what message you deliver. Now here's what I learned from Wakanda Forever. You can have exactly the right message, but you can still be 100% wrong if you deliver it at the wrong time or if you deliver it at the wrong time. You could deliver the right message, but by delivering it the wrong time, you are wrong. Okay? All right, so let's get into this. I'll explain how this works. Okay. So I saw Wakanda Forever. I will tell you right now, I've never seen a Marvel movie like Wakanda Forever. I walked out of Wakanda Forever feeling terrible about myself as a person and feeling highly dejected and sad. Right, and yeah, so that's how I felt. Now why? Well, all right, let me explain something. Okay, so the message of Wakanda Forever is 100% correct. First of all, what's the ratio on Wakanda Forever? And this is one of the reasons why I felt so bad after I saw the movie and walked out of the theater. I just felt bad as a person. I felt bad because I'm a man. I felt bad because of my gender. Just terrible. I felt terrible. I've never felt worse to be a man than after watching Wakanda Forever. Never. And this is surprising because I really never walked out of any Marvel movie feeling incredibly bad about myself personally, right? And I really did walking out of Wakanda Forever. And I'm starting to hear that some other reviews, and I'm not the only person who felt that this was there. And in fact, Grace Randolph, my favorite reviewer, actually said, if you're a man, there's probably going to be not a lot for you to celebrate in this film, and this film really doesn't have much for you, right? So, and I actually, she said that in a non-spoiler review before I went there, right? And I was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, Grace. She knew what she was talking about. She was 100% correct. So I'm not the only person seeing or saying material along this line, okay? So let's get there, okay? So what is the message of Wakanda Forever? The message is 100% correct. It is a 100% correct message. The message in Wakanda Forever is an echo of a book that was written in 2012. And the name of that book is The End of Men and the Rise of Women, and it was written by a woman, Hanna Rosin. So Hanna Rosin is a brilliant, she used to be a Slate contributor, and that's how I was aware of her, and that's how I ended up reading her book. And she was right in 2012. She said, the end of men, the rise of women. She said, men are finished, women are just ascending. And she was 100% correct. And there's a video below. It will synopsize her entire book and tell you why, and this is all American specific, why American men are completely finished and women do not need men in any way today. Like, it's just, we are a useless gender, right? Completely useless gender. Now, Hanna Rosin wrote a highly academic book. Nobody read it but me and 4 other people, right? Like, 4 other academics read it, right? Not a lot of people were like, oh, did you hear about Hanna Rosin's book, End of Men and Rise of Women? So what had to happen was Hollywood was like, okay, let's take Hanna Rosin's book and let's put it into a superhero movie. And that's exactly what Wakanda Forever is. It is, hey, here's Shuri. She's going to fight this man now. Guess who wins? Yeah, the woman wins. Hey, here's General Okoye. She's going to fight this man now. Guess who wins? The woman wins. Here is Queen Ramonda. She's going to fight this man. Guess who wins? the woman wins. Let's take all three of those characters and let's repeat it again and again and again in the film, at least 2 or 3 times for each character, right? And you're like, well, there's a strong male figure in this movie, M'Baku. M'Baku is like 6'4", weighs about 250 pounds. It's all muscle, right? And there's a scene where M'Baku, who is not skipping leg day, goes against Shuri in a test of strength. Shuri is like 5'5" and weighs 130 pounds, and she completely embarrasses M'Baku, right? Like in a test of strength, right? This movie in every single way is like, hey, men, you guys are finished, and women are here, and we are going to replace you in every single way, and nothing you do is needed anymore. You are not needed. Now, why? Now, that message is 100% correct. Men are finished. The rise of women is happening right now. All right, I'll give you just some of the stats, right? So basically, men own the word toxicity, male toxicity. It was literally like phrase of the year a couple years ago. Female toxicity is not a thing, right? They're literally saying your power and your aggression, you as a gender are toxic. They're 100% right. We screwed a whole bunch of things up. 2016, the Me Too thing, it's on us, man. We own it, right? Like, also, in America, right, we have, like, women are 100% correct. We have completely failed in leadership. And from 2016 to 2020, we had the most repugnant, most prejudiced human on this earth as our leader. Absolutely horrible record for men. Right now, 2020 to 2022, we put in a man who can't even remember which one of his children are alive or dead, and his cowardice is making sure that every single thing an American buys is 2 to 3 times more expensive. It is a terrible, and his leadership is just a daily parade of cowardice that makes every single person's life worse in America. We have utterly failed in leadership. Men have done that, right? We have our aggression and our power are now fully identified as 100% useless in a knowledge worker world, right? Like, the ability to lift things, who needs it? It's, robots can do what we've always done, right? We used to provide some value in being husbands and fathers. Vast majority of America, like far more than 51% of American women are like, do not want, thank you, next. Do not need, right? The movie is correct. Men are finished and women are rising up. It is 100% correct. Why was Wakanda Forever wrong, right, in delivering that message now? It was wrong, in my humble opinion, to deliver that message now because every man knows it. We are fully aware that the end of men that Hanna Rosin detailed a decade ago is 100% here. That's why tens of thousands of us die every year by self-deletion or by deaths of despair, which you can read about in the WAPO, in the New York Times, and in every major mainstream. And men are 100% aware that they are finished, right? So, like, this is a double tap, right? Like, we are defeated. We are useless. Our gender sucks. We, as humans, suck. Women have defeated us at every single thing we've ever done, and the future is female. But using a movie that was supposed to be, in my humble opinion, a celebration of a man who passed, unfortunately, to double tap and say, men, you are useless. Men, you will never win any contest against a woman ever, and we're going to visually show you that in every scene of this film, whether, in every single scene of this film, seems tone deaf, right? It is shouting the obvious to people who know it. We are 100% aware that the end of men is complete and the rise of women is continuing, right? So to use a Marvel superhero film to just say, hey, in case you didn't read Hanna Rosin's book, why don't we spend 2 hours and 45 minutes of showing it to you in every single scene that everything you do is worthless and useless, that you are toxic and you are horrible, and not a woman on this planet needs a single one of you. Yes, it's true, right? But is it useful to show it this clearly and this powerfully and this adamantly? I don't think so. I don't think so. And so when you have a point, when you have a message that you're going to deliver in your Dungeons and Dragons game, it could be the right message. You could be 100% right in your message. But if you're saying it to somebody who already knows, right, and knows it so deeply that there is despair in their heart, then maybe it's not the time to say it to them again, right? That's my humble opinion. Be careful as you run your Dungeons and Dragons game. Make sure that there's 80% narrative, 20% message. Wakanda forever, 10% narrative, 90% message, right? The message is right. They're right. Men are finished. Okay, we know it. Every man in America is highly aware of this, right? And women are replacing us with little to no effort, right? Like they're easily able to replace us, and like women are raising kids by themselves now. It's working out great. No men are needed. Like it's just, go forward, right? Like nothing men do. Nobody needs male toxicity now, right? We know it, right? But to use a Marvel superhero movie right now, when tens of thousands of men are choosing self-deletion and deaths of despair, it seems tone deaf. It seems tone deaf to me. Make sure you are delivering the message in your Dungeons & Dragons game at the right time to the right people, right? Don't repeat something that the people at your table already know in an incredibly painful way. That's my humble opinion. I'm eager to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.